Eriez Magnetics, world authority in advanced technology for magnetic, vibratory, and metal detection applications. Eriez presents Recycling with Magnets. We, as humans, live in the Earth's biosphere. In 1875, Edward Seuss described the biosphere as the place on Earth where life dwells. The biosphere is the part of the Earth in which life cycle processes alter or transform. Natural, renewable resources such as plants and animals replenish themselves if they are not overconsumed. Extinction of these biotic resources occurs when consumption exceeds natural replacement. Non-renewable resources include fossil fuel, water, and soil. These abiotic resources could take millions of years to renew themselves, if at all. Flow renewable resources include solar, wind, geothermal, and tides. Flow resources do not need regeneration. As biotic or abiotic resources are consumed, they can produce undesirable amounts of waste. Air, water, and soil pollution are typical byproducts of resource consumption. Excess and unused items may also be considered waste. Many types of waste can be hazardous to the biotic life forms. Have you ever asked yourself, what happens to the waste? The average U.S. citizen produces 4.6 pounds of waste per day. The highest point in the state of Ohio is Mount Rumpke. It is a mountain of trash located at the Rumpke Sanitary Landfill north of Cincinnati. Many landfills are so massive they can be seen from space. What do you contribute to the municipal solid waste pie? Reduce, reuse, and recycle are the three components of the familiar green symbol above. Reduction of waste, reuse by someone else, and recycle of items by reprocessing. Many feel that there should be a fourth R, rethink. We need to rethink new strategies to further reduce the waste. Recycling saves natural resources. Recycling saves energy. Recycling reduces pollution. Recycling saves landfill space. Recycling creates jobs. Let's take a few moments to find out how these items are used and some reasons why we should recycle them. 350,000 aluminum cans are produced every minute. We use over 80 billion aluminum pop cans every year. More aluminum goes into beverage cans than any other product. Once an aluminum can is recycled, it can be part of a new can within 6 weeks. An aluminum can made from recycled aluminum uses 90% less energy than making a can from scratch and cuts related air pollution by 95%. Recycling one aluminum can saves enough energy to run a TV for 3 hours. Glass was first produced in jewelry over 4,000 years ago. A modern glass bottle would take 4,000 years or more to decompose, and even longer if it's buried in a landfill. 13.2 million tons of glass was added to the municipal solid waste stream in 2006, of which only 22% was recovered by recycling. Recycling glass contributes 20% less air pollution and 50% less water pollution compared to glass made from raw materials. Using raw materials for glass produces about 385 pounds of waste for every ton of glass that is made. If recycled glass is substituted for half of the raw material, the waste is cut by more than 80%. The energy saved from recycling one glass bottle can run a 100-watt light bulb for 4 hours. Approximately 1 billion trees worth of paper are thrown away every year in the U.S. The average American uses 7 trees a year in paper, wood, and other products made from trees. This amounts to about 2 billion trees per year. The average household throws away 13,000 separate pieces of paper each year. Most is packaging and junk mail. When you smell a landfill, what you're actually smelling is the paper in the landfill. If all U.S. newspapers were recycled, it would save about 250 million trees each year. Each ton of recycled paper can save 17 trees, 380 gallons of oil, 3 cubic yards of landfill space, 4,000 kilowatts of energy, and 7,000 gallons of water. This represents a 64% energy savings, a 58% water savings, and 60 pounds less of air pollution. The 17 trees saved can absorb a total of 250 pounds of carbon dioxide from the air each year. Burning that same ton of paper would create 1,500 pounds of carbon dioxide. Americans use 2.5 million plastic bottles every hour. Most of them are thrown away. Plastic bags and other plastic garbage thrown into the ocean kill as many as 1 million sea creatures every year. Plastics can take up to 700 years to break down in a landfill. 8 out of 10 plastic water bottles become landfill waste. Recycling plastic saves twice as much energy as burning it in an incinerator. 5 recycled 2-liter PET bottles make enough fiber fill to stuff in an adult ski jacket. 35 bottles will fill a sleeping bag. Approximately 1/3 of all carpeting made in the U.S. has recycled PET bottles in it. Recycling a single plastic bottle can conserve enough energy to light a 60-watt light bulb for up to 6 hours. The average American uses over 140 steel cans annually. The average family in the United States uses 90 pounds of steel cans a year. Americans throw out enough iron and steel to supply all the nation's automakers on a continuous basis. More than 1,500 food items come in steel cans. By volume, steel cans made up 1.8% of landfill waste. Approximately 630 steel cans are recycled every second. Steel cans contain an average of 25% recycled material and are completely recyclable. It takes about 45 seconds to shred the average automobile into fist-sized pieces for recycling. Recycling just one car saves 2,500 pounds of iron ore, 1,400 pounds of coal, and 120 pounds of limestone. More than 20 million chocolate kisses are wrapped each day using 133 square miles of tinfoil. All that foil is recyclable, but not many people realize it. Rainforests are being cut down at the rate of 100 acres per minute. Every week, about 20 species of plants and animals become extinct. A single quart of motor oil, if disposed of improperly, can contaminate up to 2 million gallons of fresh water. An area the size of Manhattan Island, covered in photovoltaic solar panels, could supply the entire energy consumption of the United States. Recycling saves energy, 95% for aluminum, 85% for copper, 80% for plastic, 74% for iron and steel, and 64% for paper. According to ISRI, the voice of the scrap recycling industry, recycling is a $65 billion industry with approximately 50,000 employees. 150 million tons of materials are recycled annually, the greatest of which is iron and steel. 15.7 billion is exported in scrap commodities. Recycled scrap materials were exported to 143 countries. Magnetic fields can attract or repel many materials. Ferrous elements such as iron, nickel, cobalt, and their alloys are attracted to magnets. Non-ferrous elements like aluminum and copper can be repelled. The processing capabilities of a recycling facility depends on the equipment they utilize. Many facilities use individuals to manually sort out or break apart various items from incoming materials. Hazardous items sent to a facility pose a significant threat to those individuals. Please dispose of hazardous items correctly. Iron is extracted as it passes over or under magnetic fields and removed from their primary flow. Air or vacuum systems may be used to remove plastics or paper from the material flow. Eddy current separators remove aluminum by repulsion. New technologies are being developed and introduced that further enhance recycling efforts. Vehicles are placed on a conveyor and fed into a large shredder. The shredded material continues on conveyors for magnetic separation of iron. Multiple magnetic units are used for greater iron retrieval. Approximately 65% of a vehicle is made of iron. Eddy currents are used to separate conductive metals such as aluminum and copper. The heart of an eddy current separator is the multi-poled magnetic drum that rotates at high speeds. Strong, rapidly changing magnetic fields will repel conductive metals like aluminum and copper. Eddy currents remove aluminum cans and items from municipal recycling waste. Aluminum from shredded automobile scrap can also be salvaged and recycled. The following short video will show some magnetic separation equipment in use.
What do the following industrial and commercial applications have in common? Recovering aluminum cans from household and industrial waste. Removing metallics from boiler bottom ash. Separating metallics from electronic scrap. Removing metallic contaminants from glass cullet. Separating aluminum from plastics. Upgrading non-ferrous metals from automobile shredding operations. The answer? All of these applications are perfect candidates for dependable and cost-effective rare earth eddy current technology for non-ferrous metal separation. The eddy current separator, or ECS, can recover up to 95% of the most valuable material in the trash stream. At mass burn plants, the ECS removes up to 5% of the total bottom ash stream, or virtually all the metallics. It also provides a cleaner ash for processing of landfill. The ECS can also upgrade precious metal concentrates for further processing, and can remove aluminum and reduce lead contaminants to minimal levels. Processing shredded polyethylene, or PET, over the eddy current separator can reduce metallics to less than 20 parts per million. The ECS system can improve the purity of non-ferrous auto scrap to between 85 and 95%, resulting in a more valuable product and potential new markets. Metallics also can be reclaimed from air cascade fluff. In 1969, Eriez Magnetics patented America's first commercial-size eddy current separator. Now, more than 20 years later, the industry leader in metal recovery and detection systems introduces the latest generation of permanent non-ferrous separators. They feature improved magnetic circuits for stronger eddy current forces and more efficient separation. While Eriez invented and patented both electrical pulsed field and rotating permanent magnetic eddy current separators in the late 60s, they rejected the more complex electromagnetic technology. Instead, they chose the simpler, more effective permanent magnet design. Advanced magnetic circuits with rare earth Irium 3000 have up to 25 times the strength of conventional magnets to achieve significantly stronger repelling forces. The basic separator consists of an external drum or shell, an internal permanent magnetic rotor, and a belt conveyor. The internal full-diameter rotor has rows of rare earth magnets arranged in alternating polarity. It rotates at a much higher speed than the external drum. As the internal rotor spins, the alternating polarity of the magnets causes rapid alternation of the powerful magnetic fields at the external surface of the surrounding drum. This induces eddy currents in conductive materials nearby. The eddy currents generate secondary force fields that repel the conductive materials from the drum, while the non-conductive materials are not affected. A splitter in the product discharge chute physically separates the two product streams. The Eriez large diameter rotor generates eddy current fields 360 degrees around the external shell, so non-ferrous metal is repelled over a wide arc of the rotor. By contrast, competing models with smaller rotors only repel conductive metal in the narrow zone where the rotor is tangent to the shell. What's more, Eriez stronger eddy current field separates smaller pieces of metal with much greater efficiency. Let's look at the Eriez eddy current separator used at this auto shredding plant. All materials from unwanted automobiles can be recycled, but first they must be separated. This system incorporates an eddy current separator, 2 vibratory pan feeders, and a magnetic drum separator. All the product destined for the eddy current separator passes over the first vibratory pan feeder to distribute the flow evenly. Then, a magnetic drum separator scalps out weakly magnetic ferrous metal. The balance of the feed stream, now consisting only of non-ferrous material, drops onto a second vibratory pan feeder. This feeder spreads the product flow into a single layer of shredded aluminum, rubber, plastic, copper, and foam padding onto the belt conveyor feeding the eddy current drum. Upon entering the rapidly fluctuating magnetic field, conductive metals are thrown past the splitter by a combination of the levitating force produced by the eddy currents and the forward momentum imparted by the moving belt. The non-conductive materials pass over the drum and drop into a chute before reaching the splitter. This Materials Recovery Facility, or MRF, processes pre-sorted household trash. This plant also uses a magnetic separator upstream of an Eriez eddy current system. Much of the plastic and glass sorting is done by hand. A self-cleaning suspended electromagnet removes tin cans and ferrous jar lids from the trash stream. The cleated belt pushes the steel attracted to the magnet out of the magnetic field and into a collection chute. A vibratory pan feeder spreads the remaining flow evenly and discharges it onto the belt conveyor of the eddy current separator. As the trash passes over the eddy current drum, aluminum beverage cans are thrown past the splitter, down a chute, and into a can flattener. The non-conductive product doesn't reach the splitter and falls into a bin directly beneath the ECS. Among the advantages of Eriez eddy current separators are compact belt conveyor design for easy installation and maintenance, the ability to process different in-feed materials with quick machine adjustments, single source dependability for vibrating pan feeders and the eddy current separator, as well as upstream self-cleaning drum, pulley, and belt magnets. U.S. built and serviced. Eriez can also manufacture at its 7 other facilities around the world to serve local markets. Significant power savings over electro-pulsed field units. A variety of rotor designs and widths up to 48 inches. and the Eriez reputation for quality, reliability, and service proven over half a century. Here at Eriez Technical Center is the industry's only complete test facility for determining the most effective ways to separate materials. We invite you to visit our Tech Center and to submit material samples for testing and evaluation. Whatever your recycling needs, Eriez has the solutions and equipment to help you increase productivity and improve profits.
Additional separation equipment can reclaim even more of the valuable materials. A static charge may be used to attract conductive or highly charged particles. Metal detectors can locate and assist in the removal of various metals from the process flow. Electro-static separators combine attracting and repelling forces to produce very selective separations on a wide variety of materials. Computer electronics contain precious metals that are extracted by electrostatic separation. The Eriez ProSort metal sorting machine detects metals as they pass over sensors under the conveyor belt. When the detected item reaches the end of the conveyor, it is deflected by an electromagnetic paddle out of the normal product flow. After the materials have been separated, where do they go? Aluminum is shredded into small bits, melted down, and cast into ingots. Ingots are then sent to various manufacturers to be rolled into sheets or formed into other shapes. Recycled aluminum has the same quality as new aluminum. 96% of the energy is saved compared to making aluminum from scratch. Glass is broken into smaller pieces called cullet. Magnets, screens, and vacuum systems remove contaminants. Cullet is mixed with other raw materials in the glass making process. Less energy is needed to melt the cullet, so when more recycled cullet is used, it increases the savings. Paper is sorted, shredded, and screened to remove contaminants. Magnets remove staples and other steel contaminants. Chemicals remove the inks, glues, and plastic film. Water is added to shredded paper to create pulp. The pulp slurry is spread into large thin sheets to dry before winding onto large rolls and then onto their specific market. Plastic is broken apart and shredded into flakes or pellets. The plastic is then put through a cleaning process to remove glues and labels. Magnets and eddy currents remove any ferrous and non-ferrous metal contaminants before sending to various manufacturers. A large variety of products from sleeping bags to plastic lumber can be made from recycled plastic. Here are some examples of recycling codes. Scrap steel is sent to mills to be melted down and formed into various shapes. North America has been recycling steel scrap for more than 150 years. All steel products contain anywhere from 25 to 100% recycled material content. New technologies assist in removing non-magnetic metals like stainless steel. Check your local community for programs that are in place and what can be recycled. Follow selection and sorting guidelines for items to be recycled. Clean and rinse plastic, metal, and glass items before recycling as required by the recycling center. Please dispose of hazardous items properly. Investigate options for items not included for curbside pickup. We hope you enjoyed this educational program brought to you by Eriez.